Today in the wood yard, it's cold. Well, my original plan was I was going to come out today and I was going to split these rounds up and I was going to cut the rest of this section right here, this pile up, get it split. But when I got up this morning, it was 13 below. Right now it's about 6 below and it's probably about as warm as it's going to get, and the wind is picking up, so it's nippy out here. I mean, cold. I think if I did some work, I'd be fine, but I have another job to do. It's an inside job, so I think that's what I'm going to do today. Well, that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to go inside, and I got a couple of, I got an axe and a hatchet, or a small axe and a regular size axe head that are my brother's, and I'm going to rehang them for him because they're bad. They're really bad. He got a couple handles, so I'm going to put them on for him and get that done. And the other job I have today is I have a delivery for a face cord, or a third of a cord if you prefer, of cherry. One of my regular customers called and said they're out and I can bring it anytime today, so I'm going to do that at the end of the day for sure. So I'm going to get that loaded up, and it's going to get real loud real soon here because there's a big old jet coming in right now, which happens a lot while I'm filming and I have to reshoot, but I'm not reshooting this. I'm going to let you watch the jet fly over. Here it comes. So there it goes. For those of you that haven't been here before, I'm right next to an airport. The airport runway is right there. This is the east side of the airport here, so it runs into the west. So usually the wind comes from that direction, so I get a lot of landings here, a lot of planes, jets, helicopters, all that good stuff flying over. Happens a lot. I'm gonna head in, and I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna start out with taking some parts off of the axe heads. I'm going to take the handles out, and then we're going to rehang them, and then I think it'll warm up a little bit. I'm going to come out and load up my wood for my delivery, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of splitting on that pile too if I've got some time. But yeah, it's windy here. The wind is blowing and it's cold. So we're going in right now, and I'll show you the axes that I've got. Oh. Whew, it's cold out there. So the first one I got is this dandy right here. It's very loose. Look at the job was done on there. This is one my brother got from the place he used to work at. They were going to throw it out, and he thought, hey, I could use that, but it's really bad. It needs a new handle. So I've got a handle. I'm going to put it on there, so this will be like his work retirement memento. And this one is a very special little axe. It's a little plum, made in the USA, and it's got all kinds of nails on it too, and a whole bunch of duct tape. Now this axe right here was my grandpa's. My grandpa was a professional trapper. He actually used this for probably 40-50 years, and it was his axe when he had on a trap line. He trapped minnows in the summer, and that's my brother and I. Both my brothers and I worked for him, seining minnows and emptying and checking minnow traps, and so he's a bait dealer. He did that in the summer, and then in the fall and winter he was a trapper. He did fox trapping, he did raccoon trapping, coyotes, a lot of muskrats, mink, stuff like that. That's what he did full-time for 40 years. So it's one of the reasons I'm outside a lot. I spent a lot of time with him trapping and hunting and fishing and working for him, so it's kind of cool. So you can see how the end of this is all kind of mashed out because he pounded trap stakes with it all the time. So this is a cool one here. This means a lot to me and both my brothers. And so I'm going to rehang this, and then my brother will have it to use. And it's going to be used. None of the things that I have I buy to hang on a wall. They're all for using. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the old handles. I just happen to have a tool to do that. Last time I did this, hung the other axe heads that I had. My son had my little jigsaw here, so I didn't have it, but I got it now. we go. Let's see what happens here. I got the everyman tool, vice grip. Oh yeah, I should be able to get a hold of these, no problem. The nails are just loose. He's got enough nails in there to build a house. I wonder how long ago we put these in here. Well, one thing I can tell you is my grandpa was not a craftsman. He was not a builder. I think he owned maybe one handsaw and a hammer, and that's probably about it. He did not do, oh, that is loose. That's going to come out real easy. He did not do much handiwork at all, but he killed a lot of animals. A lot. I mean, he was quite the machine in the woods. He was a World War II pilot, and he worked in a paper mill for, I don't think it was more than a few years. He hated it. He absolutely hated it. And so what he did was one day he decided he was done and he just left. And he was making good money, but he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And his dad was a professional bait dealer, so he kind of just took the business over from his dad and he just quit. Oops, I lost it there. So he just quit the mill and started working in the woods full time. That's what he wanted to do, and he did it, which is part of the reason I guess I'd have to say that I'm self-employed to this day and have been for, I don't know, 32 years now, I guess. I just never liked working for anybody else, and I wanted to do. Oh, that is not coming out as good as I thought it was going to. So yeah, he was quite the outdoorsman, and hey, there we go. Now I got it out. Just shot out there. There you go. She's clean. So yeah, my mom was 18 when she had me. Well, she got married when she was like 18 and 1 month, I think, or something like that, or 18 and a couple months old. And then my grandpa, and she's the oldest in the family, and when I was born, my grandpa was 44. And when he died at 88. So I had him for 44 years, and what was kind of weird for me was that when he died, I was 44, same age he was when I was born. So that was kind of a pivotal moment for me. I realized my life was half over pretty much. And so yeah, and he meant a lot to me and my brothers. We did a lot of stuff with him. So I think that's pretty much it. I should be able to drive this through now. So yeah, it's kind of at that point, and you realize your life is half over, you start thinking, what do I want to do, what I really want to do? So I started doing more and more things that I wanted to do. You know, hunting, fishing, trapping, being outside, cutting firewood. Working outside. Come on. Huh. It does not want to come out. Oh, I see. There's still a wedge in there. Huh. Well, I'm going to convince it to come out. There we go. Let's see what happens here if I can get her in there. Oh, just about. There we go. Now she's out. There. That one's clean now. There we go. So now we got two heads. So here's the old axe handle. It's a dandy. And here's the new one. My brother bought these and had them, so I told him I'd get them hung for him. Let's do a little measurement here. I know that the one for this Collins axe, my grandpa's, it says 22 inches, and this one is 28. It's a 28 incher, so It's going to end up being just a little longer, a little bigger, but this was the size that looked like it was closest. It's considered a 28-inch boy's axe, but a little bit extra length on it. It's a big enough head that it certainly can handle it, I think. It's not super tiny. And a little bit I actually prefer a longer handle. I don't like hatchets at all. To me, they're just worthless. If I'm going to be working with something, I want something that's got a little bit of length to it myself. And then the other one, right here, I cut off. This one looks like it was probably a 34-incher, I want to say. I think this is a 36. Yeah, it's a 36. So, and that'll be for this Collins, this bigger one here. So, there they are. Time to get to work. There, I just took it down a little bit so I can get it farther down on the front edge here at the bottom. Oh, that's much tighter. It's fitting much better on the bottom now. I got it pretty tight all the way around, and I just got to fill in the top then with wedges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge it in the middle, obviously, and then I'm going to wedge it in front and back with slivers that go down in there, and I'll just tighten it up that way. That's what's going to happen, and it'll work. So I'm going to take off all of the varnish that they have on this. Varnish, as you know, they put on just to make it look nice in the store and to keep it from warping and keep fingerprints off of it. But I'm going to take it off so that I can then put on some boiled linseed oil. It's a nice handle. If it just fit better. I like the heartwood in it there, that little dark spot. That's cool. So I'm going to cut the wedge to fit the head because I'm going to go front to back with it, and then I'll just fill in on the side. So I'm going to put this in. I cut this down so that it fits tight in there. So right there looks like the mark, and looks like right about there. And I guess this is a straight edge. That'll work. There we go. Oh yeah, that'll go. Okay, so now make sure I get it on the right way here. I'll slide this in. And then we will slather some glue on both sides. And then we're going to put a little bit on the hole, or the slot, I should say, whatever you call it. You probably noticed I don't know all the technical terms of the parts of the axe and the handle and the head and all that stuff. It's because I don't do a lot of this. I just cut wood. That's what I do. I just cut wood, and that's what I want this to do, is cut wood. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue down in here, and we're going to slide this bad boy in. There you go. So we're just going to tap it very gently. Yeah, she's tightening up. Make sure I got my... Make sure I got the head down. Okay, now we'll go to the next stage, which I'm going to go upside down and pound this in a little farther on a piece of wood. Well, this is what I do. Might not be the right way, but it works for me every time I've done this. I take a piece of wood so it's softer, and I don't want to hit this with a hammer or anything heavy, so this is what works good. I'm just going to tap the wedge in this way. Gotta look and see how it's doing. Oh yeah, she's going in. It's going in good. Just about it though. I think we're about at the limit. Yeah, it's not moving much at all now. So I'll bring you down here so you can see what this does on the board here. You can see how all those dents are in there, and it's taking a lot of the unevenness of my hits into account, and it kind of gives the piece of wood, the mishitting, a little bit of a advantage for me, because if you're hitting with a hammer, something metal, you can easily split, because I've done it, you can easily split these wedges, and that's not good. So it's nice to do it that way, and it works really good. So that's how I do it. Might not be the right way, but it works. So there it is. It is down. Now I'm gonna cut it off, and then we're gonna put in the little metal wedge here somewhere. So here's a little wedge that came with it, so I'll put that in like at a 45 angle like that, so you don't split the X going down, so, or the handle. Okay, so now I'm just gonna zip this off and then see what we got to do next. So there you go, I cut it off. Now I'm just going to sand it down, grind it down a little bit here, and take it down. So now you can see I got it sanded down nice and smooth, and the grain kind of runs at this kind of an angle, so you don't want to put the wedge at the same angle because you can split it. So I'm going to go across the grain like this, kind of the opposite direction of the grain of the wood, and drive it in. And all it's left is these two little holes right here and here. So it's filling in way better than I thought it was going to. Obviously, it's the appropriate handle, so it'll work good. So I think when I split this, it should fill in there a little bit, and if not, I got enough of a wedge in here, and then this wedge, I think it'll stay just fine for the little bit of splitting kindling that he's going to do with it, and then we'll polish it up next. The grain runs this way. I'm going to put the wedge in the opposite of the grain. Try to get it pretty much in the middle here, where the thick part is. It should work. So what I did, there we go. Now it's down the way. I'd take it out of the vise because it was driving the handle down out. So I had to get the wedge started first, and then it expanded enough to where it's tight in there. It's not the best job ever, but it will work. So now it's time for a little burning. I think that looks pretty good, not bad. Now I'm going to put a little stain on it. It's not necessary, but I like it. And I think it just looks better when they're darker. So we're going to stain this baby down. It's just a dark walnut stain. You can see this part down here and the upper part here, the difference. I like it. I don't know if you do, but I do. And then I like to just wipe off all any excess, because I don't really want it super dark. I just want it, take it down. So here's the color that it was when we started, and that's the color now. So looks pretty cool. I like it. So yeah, I'm kind of jealous that this is going to be my brother's now, being that this was my grandpa's. But he's going to like it. It'll mean a lot to him too. Ooh, I got to do the top. There we go. That's done. I'm going to run a wire brush over this baby and polish her up. So now I'm going to put a little bit of a edge on it. Now we'll do a little bit on the other side. Let's see what we got now. Oh. You hear that? Sharp. So there it is. Other than putting some boiled linseed oil on the handle to seal it, I'll do a few coats of that. I'll do that after I get the other one done. It's turned out pretty nice, actually. Way better than I thought it was going to. The fit is better. Expanded plenty. Fits in nice and tight now. And color of it's good. I polished it up. Got a little edge on it, so nice and sharp. I mean, you're not going to shave with it. No, I'm not going to shave with it. I'm going to split wood with it. It doesn't have to be shaving sharp, because the first 4 or 5 hits you make on it, it's not shaving sharp anymore. It's plenty sharp for splitting wood. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice little garage axe that he's gonna have here. Nice. I wish it was mine. So there you go. That one's done, except for the linseed oil. Now we're going to the next one. This one I'm gonna be a little smarter on. I'm gonna polish it up before I put the handle on, which is what I should have did with the other one. Here we go. So now, oh yeah, that feels better. Nice and smooth. It'll slide through the wood nicely. And remember, these are user axes. If this was an antique, something that was a collectible worth a lot of money, I would not be doing this to it. I'm making these to be used. So now, as soon as I have it in the vise, I'm going to sharpen this one up first before I hang it. I can tell you this one's really dull. It's going to take a lot of grinding, and it's got a real steep wedge on the tip of it here. I should actually be using a bench grinder on this one. This one needs more than just touching up, but this is what I got for now. My bench grinder's at my house. So there, this head is polished up. I took all the rust off. Nice and smooth now. I put a good edge on it. You hear that? It's not shaving sharp, but plenty sharp to cut wood. So now we're going to hang it up. So now I'm going to sand off the varnish off of this one before we hang it. I just tried to slide this one on, and it does not go far at all. It's not going in far at all. I got lots of taking down to do in here, which is good. I want it to be a nice tight fit, because this will be the one that actually gets used more. I've got a feeling that the little axe for my grandpa is going to be more of a decoration piece, but he'll probably use it. Probably this spring when we go beaver trapping, which you will see, we're going to do a lot of that, which we do every year. We will take that little axe along, and just for old time's sake, and because my grandpa would want us to use it, we'll take it out and we'll pound some steaks with it, and we'll use it for whatever we need to on the trap line. So we're going to get going on this one. pretty good. Right in through here. Around here, it's pretty good. It's just a little bit off in this back corner here. Got a little bit more to do. Much better. Now it's good all the way around on the inside there. I like it. Nice and centered. I think that's good. So what I'm going to do now is just going to mark out the width of the wedge here. I'm going to go a little bit past here because there's a little space right up in this front edge here. So I'm going to go just a little bigger. Because I'd rather have it be a little bigger than a little too small. I like my straight edge, isn't that nice? There we go. I'll get a double line, but I know it's this one. Looks good. Now it's time to slather some glue on. So I'm going to pour some right down into the hole here, into the slot. Because I don't care if it gushes out. There we go. And you know where you go with this all the time, right? There's a proper place to put this. It's right underneath the workbench, right on this edge right here. That's where you rub all your excess glue. At least that's where I've always done it for the last 40 some years I've been doing this kind of stuff. So now, we're just going to get started. And I got smart. I got my rubber mallet out. Now we'll take her over to the slamming board. So again, all I'm going to do is just work the wedge. There we go. I think I've got it. It's wedged in, as you can see. Now I'm going to zip it off and then put the other metal wedge, go the other way. How do you like my protectors here on the wedge to not have it get all marred up? I use gloves all the time for this. It seems to work good with these cuffed ones too because they have a nice thick leather cuff there. It works really good for cranking on stuff like this. There we go. Good, now we can zip that off. So there was a little gap right on the front edge here. I don't know if you can see it. I forgot to turn the camera on, but I drove in another wedge, a little piece that was about half as thick as this, just about that much. And I drove it down. I got it in there about, I'd say, almost 3/4 of an inch. So I filled that in, that little front edge there, because it was just loose. That's just the way it fit. So I got that done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the metal wedge, and you can see the grain runs this direction, like this here. So I don't want to put the wedge in that same direction. I'm going to go exact opposite. I'm going to go this way with the wedge right there. And that way it has a less chance of splitting down. So that's where it's going to go. I'll try to get you guys as close as I can get here without hitting the camera, because I literally got to have the camera like 2 inches away here to do this. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I could have turned it. Should have turned it more this way. But it filled it up pretty nice. Feels tight, went in hard, so I think we're good. All right, so now we're gonna do a little bit of burning on this one. Okay, there it is. So I did a little less burning on this one. I was running out of propane, but I'm gonna stain it up now, and I'm sure it'll end up looking really good. So we're gonna put a little bit of stain on now. Oh yeah, that'll look real nice. I just gotta put on a little heavier up on the top here because we want it to get all the way into the cracks, kind of the same as the linseed oil. I try to slather it in there really good. At least I try to anyway. You guys even see where I am? Sort of. So yeah, I'm just trying to get it all the way around into the where it makes contact with the head here. Get in there. There we go. There you get it all squeezed into the cracks. I'll just put a little bit on the top here, or the end. I don't know, is this the top or the end? I'm sure people will tell me. Don't know, don't care. It's on. All that matters is it's gonna chop wood. It'll split wood. It'll do what it's supposed to do. That's all that matters. Now this might not be as nice and as pretty as Chris Killinger would do, or Buck and Billy Ray, but it'll work. So now I'm going to put some boiled linseed oil onto it, and I usually just pour it out right into a cap from a can of spray paint. That's kind of my go-to holder for a lot of liquids for things like this. And we're going to slather some on right now. We're going to start out with the little guy with my grandpa's axe. And we'll see what happens here. This brush has seen better days. It's kind of stiff because I haven't really cleaned it out. But it's going on. So I'm going to put on linseed oil onto both of these that I just did, and I'm going to put another layer onto the ones I did. I don't know how long ago that was now, a couple weeks ago, something like that, 3 weeks ago. I don't know, a while back. But they could use another coat because I think I did one coat on 2 or 3 of them and 2 coats on one of them only, I think. So we're going to slather it on and then let them sit and then put some more on in a few days. I like it. I like it a lot. As my good friend Lloyd Christmas would say. Got it all? There, one done. Now we'll do some to the other one. I think you guys can see from there, sort of, kind of. Stuff doesn't even smell very good. Linseed oil kind of stinks, unless that's me. Not sure. Don't know. No, it's the linseed oil. Doesn't smell good. Okay, there, that one's pretty much done. It's got to get the top over here. So this is one I got from my dad. This big double bit here, which is kind of neat. This one I'm going to use to chop a tree down. I'm going to go do that probably in the next week. Because I've always wanted to do it with a double bit. I, cut trees down as a kid and stuff, but I haven't targeted a specific big tree before that I want to cut down, so that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to take this and go chop down a couple trees just to say I did it, and it'll be a cool video. So we're going to do that coming up next couple weeks, as soon as it gets above 20 below zero here. If we can get some days that are nice and sunny and I can go out there with just a sweatshirt or flannel shirt on and work, because that will be work, chopping. I can do that, and I can do a cool video of it too, I think. So that's the plan. And we might even, my brother's got a cross-cut saw, we might even do some cross-cut saw action possibly. Normally I would have this light on for working, but it's way too bright for the camera. It causes a big sunspot basically, and then blinds you guys. So I have lights set up on the side over there so that I get decent lighting. But normally this light would be on whenever I'm doing any sharpening or working on the bench, but it's kind of bright, that's what I said. So because I don't know, because I haven't done this a lot before, I've done a little, how many coats of boiled linseed oil, how many times do you guys apply it? For those of you that have hung axes before, splitting walls, I figured 3-4 times would be adequate. Maybe it needs to be more. I do know it takes quite a while to soak in. It's a good week or so. There, that one's done. There they are. All of them have gotten a fresh coat. Some of them it's their second coat, and one of them is a third coat of linseed oil. So there they are. They are all done. They look very pretty. So there's a splitting maul, double bit axe, single bit, that's my brother's from work, little guy was my grandpa's, and then another double bit that was my father-in-law's, and another double bit I got from my dad. So there they are. They're all done and ready to be used. And I think that's it for today. I'm going to go outside and see what the temperature is right now, because I know it is cold out. It is, according to my thermometer, it's 3 degrees it looks like, maybe 4. Cold. There's the wood yard out there. Not going to go out there and do any work. I'm just going to go do a load of wood. I'm going to go chuck a load on. I'm going to go deliver it, chuck a load off, and then that'll be it for today. So, and you're not coming with me because I'm not going to record it. It's too dang cold out there to run the camera. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Please hit the buttons, like, subscribe, share. You know what to do. Hit them all. In between now and the next time you come back, because that'll be tomorrow, because I'm going to be here, you should be here. Get out in the woods and get cutting. Good night, Irene.